What's going on, guys? My name's Mitch Robs, and today we're going over Northwest Amp West. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is an amplifier that gets hit by a lot of propanes. A lot. So we have to take that into account. So I really hope you guys enjoy this build. It's a lot more efficient than my last one, and it's going to be a pretty damn good build for you guys. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. So if you guys like this content, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to my channel. Comment down below which amplifier you guys want to see next, and if you guys enjoyed this PP amplifier. Consider using my creator code, Mitch_Robs_. It really helps. This is actually recorded on my new PC. The specs are in, I think, one of the last videos. I don't remember which video it was. I think it was the Can You Build a Canny Valley Endurance? So go check it out. I really appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me, and I honestly didn't think anything would come out of making content. I just started streaming MSK one day, and now here we are. So this is kind of just different. Anyways, so stumbling into content creator is hard, but whatever. Anyways, I'm going on a rant, but this is Northwest Amp West. So this is just going to be I'm not going to say a simple damage tunnel. It's going to be a converging damage tunnel with a wide space of area that we have to work with. So we're going to have to block off a good bit of places, and we're going to have a special flinger path so that the flingers aren't an issue on this amplifier. We're not going to have much of a lobber shield, and we're going to use a smasher bridge with a mini boss TP loop. For this side of the amplifier, not really that important, right? Smashers aren't going to get through your tunnel. Now, mini bosses, yes, they'll get through your tunnel on wave 30, unless you just absolutely overkill the tunnel. But we're not doing that. We're making this pretty structure efficient and making it to where we're not going to waste resources on this build. Yeah, so Northwest Amp gets hit on wave 2, 7, 12, 17 and 27 in the random waves. So you can see it gets hit a lot, right? And it's split between two sides of the amplifier. So, I mean, it's not all going to be on this side, but it could be actually, if you got really stupid unlucky. All right. So now we're going to go on to the traps of this amplifier. So trap wise, we're going to have 86 traps. All right. That sounds like a scary number. But with these damage builds, you kind of have to have a lot. We're going to have 9,720 metal into this, so way less than it used to be. And that's going to have 162 structures from metal, so 248 structures overall for Northwest West. And that's taking into account our flinger pathway and our smasher bridge, which are also for Northwest North. So it's a little bit inflated for this amplifier. All right, so it's going to be 248 structures overall, which sounds expensive, but it's really not that expensive, right? Because I think I went over this in one of the other videos. If you do 3,000 divided by 10, because there's only 10 different directions you can get hit in Canny Valley, you get 300 structures per side. So 248 for being really expensive on the amplifier isn't very expensive compared to like our Storm Shield South and stuff like that. All right, so let's get on. Oh yeah, we have to do the traps. I forgot about that. All right, so let's do the traps. So we're going to have 7 wall dynamos. These are going to be double crit rating, double crit damage, heals, builds attached. We're going to have 4 sound walls. These are going to be all Dura, 1 reload. We're going to have 2 sound walls with all Dura, blue reload, legendary reload, and durability. We're going to have 3 sound walls with all durability, 2 reload. We're going to have 2 sound walls with all durability, 1 purple reload, 1 legendary reload, and 1 Dura. We're going to have 4 floor freeze traps with all durability, 2 reload, effect duration. We're going to have 3 wooden floor spikes with 2 crit rating, 2 crit damage, heals, builds attached. We're going to have 4 retractable floor spikes with double crit damage, crit rating, damage, durability. We're going to have 9 wall spikes with, I just have them as all damage, but the real more important thing is the heals, builds attached on the back of it. We're going to have 7 wall darts with crit rating, crit damage, damage, reload speed, durability. We're going to have 12 wall darts with crit rating, double crit damage, damage, durability. We're going to have 4 wall dynamos with crit rating, double crit damage, damage, durability. 6 wall dynamos with crit rating, crit damage, damage, reload, durability. 7 gas traps with crit rating, double crit damage, damage, effect duration. we're going to have a ceiling zapper, or 4 ceiling zappers with crit rating, double crit damage, durability, 6 floor freeze traps. These just can be any floor traps, but just make sure they have heals builds attached. And we're going to have 2 wall darts with crit rating, crit damage, reload speed, and heals builds attached for 86 traps. So let's get on to the build tutorial. What's going on, guys? My name is Mitch Robs, and let's build some Northwest Amplifier, also formerly known as PP Amplifier. But yeah, today we're going to be building Northwest Amplifier, and this is where you're going to see a lot of difference in the quality of my tunnels. Alright, so we already did Storm Shield South and West, so if you guys haven't already, go follow those. It's pretty similar to my last one, but I made it a little bit more efficient. But today we're actually going to be doing Northwest West. And Northwest West, I made a lot better. And I mean a lot better. So, this is Northwest Amplifier. It's in the northwest part of the map. Congrats, you found out how the amp was named. Alright, so we're going to come all the way over here to the west, right? And the first glaring issue you're going to see is that there's a giant cliff that drops down towards the amplifier. So that's one of the things we're going to have to work around. The other thing is that there's a ghost amplifier up here on the cliff that we have to work around. So those are the 2 big things. So spawns for this amplifier are going to be right here, all across here, along over to here, and over here. Right, so there's no really funky spawns, but they are spawns that we are in such a wide area that we kind of have to condense them down somehow and block off a lot of area. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have a converging damage tunnel, and that, don't let that be too fancy for you. It's quite literally just the tunnels come towards each other. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, we're going to start off with the pathway. So we're going to go to this amplifier right here. This is our little ghost amplifier, and it's going to be a big challenge. So just place 3 walls here, 1 on each side of it. This is going to be helpful for you determining where the pathway for the tunnel is. But we're going to place those 3 walls. Alright? So once we have that, we're going to go over to right here. We're going to place a floor, and floor. Alright, so it should be just 1 floor. So it's like 1 tile over to the south, and it's gonna be floor to the north, floor to the east, floor to the north, floor to the east. Okay? We're gonna do that right over here as well. So this is what I meant about converging. These are gonna move towards each other instead of like going away or being their own separate tunnels. So this part of the tunnel is gonna converge into this side, and they're gonna become 1 tunnel. Alright. So our pathway is going to be here, 1, 2, 3, here. And then we're going to add a little bit of a pathway here when we make our Smasher Bridge to account for Smashers charging. Alright, so that's our basic path. And now let's go over the end. Okay. So first things first, we're going to add a wall here. This is going to be a windowed wall, so like that. And we're going to place it here. We're also going to have a windowed wall here. We're going to have a windowed wall here. We're going to have a low wall here. This could be a windowed wall as well, but I found I didn't really necessarily need the window wall for health purposes. So we just have it at a window wall. We're going to have a window wall here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm playing on PC now, for those of you guys who care. And I used to use something called a FPS strike pack. Basically means I had paddles on the back of my controller. It doesn't work too well with PC and trying to record and stuff like that, so trying to play claw, so that's fun. But anyways, so now that we have that, we're gonna place a wall here, and then this is gonna be a window. So these window walls are important because we're gonna put sound walls on a lot of them, and it's gonna allow wall darts to shoot through it. So we're gonna have a wall here, here, this isn't necessarily needed. And we're gonna also have a wall here and here. So there's just gonna be wall darts shooting through that. And we're basically gonna mirror it. So windowed wall, windowed wall, windowed wall, low wall, windowed wall, and then just regular, yeah, regular wall here, 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 and here. Okay? So it should look something like that, and I'll give you guys an aerial view. It's not very hard, so it's just gonna look like that. Alright? And that's gonna allow us to shoot wall darts through those sound walls and stuff when we're placing our traps. We're also going to add ceilings over all of this. So over all of this right here, the main pathway, we're gonna add ceilings. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? We're going to continue through this tunnel, and we're going to add edited low walls. So this is going to be an edited low wall, edited low wall, edited low wall, edited low wall. And I think I want to make this last one a wall dart, but I'm not entirely sure. I think, yeah. I think we're going to make it a wall dart. So we're going to make that a wall dart. This a wall dart. This a edited low wall. Yeah, guys, I'm just, I'm looking at screenshots because I want to get this perfect for y'all. And, I'm used to a dual monitor setup because I used to play on, well, I used to play on PS4, right? And I used to use a capture card through my laptop, and I used to record, and I used to have an extra monitor. Playing on one monitor, very different. Anyways, so we have that basic setup, right? And we just added those low walls and stuff like that. So we're about ready to place all the traps in. Let's place 2 walls right here, though. Just for the wall darts that are going to be on those. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to add a little bit more to the tunnel. And it's going to be basically pathing walls, just so that we can like path them a little bit longer in our tunnel. So we're going to add this little wall right here. We're going to add one right here. We're going to add one right here. Just making sure. And that should be good. Pathing wall. Oh, and then we're gonna also add one right here. Alright? So it should be 4 of these. Should be 1, 2, 3. I'm not even entirely sure if those. Let me go through my screen. So I don't have this actually. So I don't have this one. And that should be good. Okay, so there's only 3 of them. So there's this front one. So we place the front one. And there's this one. And then there's... So we're going to do that on the other side as well. So right here on the left side. It should be right here. And it should be right here. And this is just so that husks have to walk towards the middle of the tile instead of walking on the left side of it. Because if they walk towards the left side of it, the gas trap above isn't going to affect them as much. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to add this, because I'll forget it later. This is the only lava shield that we need. Congrats, we built our lava shield. So most of these tunnels actually in this Canny, to reduce structures, I built them with having the max lava range, what's the word for it, in account. So the only spot that lobbers could actually throw is right here. And since we blocked this off, that's no worries. We'll take into account flinkers later too, and I'll show you guys how we do. So let's start actually placing traps down the tunnel. So what we're going to do is we're going to find an all Dura 1 reload speed sound wall. Just right here. We're going to place 1, 2, and we're going to come over here where this window is. We're going to place 1, 2. So this is anything that walks right here is going to get sound walled. Anything that walks across it this way gets sound walled. Alright, and these are just the 1 reload because they're outside towards the spawn and they're going to get used a lot. So we want them to have as much durability as possible, and they're going to go off less times in a certain amount of time because the reload's smaller, so they're going to last a lot longer. Okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna remember how I was talking about rainbow sound. Well, here's where we get to implement them, and I know a lot of people are gonna get annoyed by this, but whatever, I'm prepared for that. So we're gonna have an all Dura 2 reload speed sound wall, and it's gonna be at the front. Alright, simple enough. That's not very hard. We're then going to have a purple sound, or a blue sound wall. So this is just going to be all durability, 1 legendary reload speed, and 1 blue reload speed. We're going to place it here. And I'll explain the concept of these in a little. We're then going to have, I want to say purple. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a purple one. We're going to have a purple sound wall here. I wrote the order down on a piece of paper, just so I wouldn't screw it up for you guys. So it's going to be, so it's going to be 1 reload, 2 reload, blue and legendary reload, purple and legendary reload, and then we're just gonna have a 2 reload here, catch anything that gets through. All right, and then we're gonna do that on the other side. So 2 reload. Yeah, that's so strange. My mouse is showing up. That's kind of annoying. We're gonna go blue reload. Boom. Purple reload. Boom. Then we have our 2 reload. Yeah, we're gonna have to get that mouse out of here. That's getting really... Alright, so now that we have that, look. Now we have all of our sound walls down. So what's the purpose of all these differing reloads? Say I'm walking right here and I'm a husk. I'm gonna get hit by this sound wall, all there are 2 reload. This sound, this wall, this wall, this wall. These are all gonna go off, right? But they're gonna reload at different husk times. So if I'm the next husk, say this sound wall goes off, and this has already been procced previously, this time this won't go off when I walk past here. So the goal is to get different husks hit by different reload times, so that less propane make it through. And even still then, we're gonna have minimal propane issues, so we'll take care of that as well. So now we're gonna start on the actual like damaging traps in the tunnel. So we're going to place a floor freeze trap. This is just gonna be all durability, 2 reload, 1 effect duration, and we're gonna place it here. Now with these, it's important that you face towards the east and then look down. Why? Because the stagger or knockback of the floor freeze trap will actually push them back out of the tunnel when they get hit by them. We're gonna pair this with a gas trap. And this is just going to be your standard crit built gas trap. So crit rating, double crit damage, damage effect duration. We'll place it here. We're then going to have a wall dynamo, but this is going to be a reload speed one. Not like our double crit rating, double crit damage, or anything like that. So it's just going to be crit rating, crit damage, damage, reload speed, durability. And this is just so it goes off enough, right? And this is going to have a lot of durability, so it's going to go off a lot. We're then going to have a reload speed wall dart. So let's go all the way up here, and it's going to be crit rating, crit damage, damage, reload speed, durability, right? And we're also going to have one on this one. So it's going to shoot through this sound wall. And this one's going to shoot through this window wall. Okay, let's keep going through. We're also going to have a different wall dart, right? So this one might confuse you guys, but it's going to be heals builds attached, damage, crit rating, reload speed. You don't really need that extra durability on this particular wall dart, and if a propane goes off in here, it's going to heal back up, and that's pretty important because this gets hit a lot with propane waves. We're then going to add a wooden floor spike. This is going to be a double crit rating, double crit damage, heals builds attached wooden floor spike. In case propane goes off, it's just going to heal back up. We're going to have another gas trap. So it's just our crit rating, double crit damage, damage, durability, or effect duration, boom. And basically all these traps up to this point are going to be the gas trap. Why? Because I find the consistent damage is way better than a ceiling electric field, right? Significantly better. And honestly, it's good enough for the wall darts, and dynamos are good enough for smashers. So I find these are really good in Canny Valley because the consistent damage is so good. Only weakness is, I think, like nurse husks, but the wall darts usually clean them up if they're in the tunnel. We're then going to come right here at the next tile in our tunnel, and we're going to have our all durability 2 reload speed effect duration floor strap. Boom. And then we'll have our reload speed dynamo again. So, oh my gosh, where is it? Who knows? Was I on it? No, there it is. And we're going to place it here. Alright. We're then going to step over here to the right, and we're going to have a double crit, or a crit rating, double crit damage, durability wall dart, and we're going to shoot it into the front of our tunnel. We'll have a reload speed wall dart right here, so that it's shooting across here. So these are just, so this one's the non-reload speed one, and this one's a reload speed one, so they're going off at different times, similar to the sound wall. We'll then have a wooden floor spike right here, and this is just to slow the husks down through here. So once they walk right through here, they'll get slowed down into our later part of the tunnel. Okay? So we're just going to mirror it on this side, so I'll take a little bit less time. So this is going to be floor freeze trap, all dura 2 reload, boom. All dura 2 reload, boom. We're going to get our retractable, or wooden floor spike, boom. We'll have our ceiling gas traps. Boom, boom. we'll have our reload speed wall dynamos. So let's go find those real quick. So they're this one. Reload speed wall dynamo, reload speed wall dynamo, reload speed wall darts. So let's go find those. So reload speed, reload speed, reload speed, heavy hitting one now. And then we have our heals builds attached one right here. Alright? So simple enough. It's just mirrored onto the other side. And that's why I went through it quickly. Now we're gonna hop into this area, right? And we're also going to have a reload speed wall dart here. You don't really need the heals builds attached because propane's not gonna break this one. So we're gonna have it in there. Now, one of the things we have to worry about in this endurance is propane. And I have I'm not gonna say elegant solution, but it's a solution. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come into this box again, and we're gonna have our wall spikes. These are gonna have heals builds attached. It doesn't really matter what the other perks are, but I have heals builds attached, all damage and physical. And we're gonna place it 1, 2, 3, right? And this is just gonna heal up these walls if they get damaged. Alright. We're then going to come directly over to this windowed wall with the wall dynamo. And we're gonna place one on the back of it, one on the back of this sound wall, and one right here. So that should be 3 over here. So 3, 3, 3. Or, so, yeah, so there should be 9. And let me just verify that. Yeah, 9 overall. So there should be 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And then we go to the other side. It's gonna be 3. And this is gonna help tremendously because I think wave 12 is also a propane wave as well as 17. So if any explosions do go off wave 12, it's not gonna be enough to destroy your trap tunnel. But these will actually heal your walls up by the time it gets hit that wave 17. So they'll be full health. And then later on, wave 17 will hit, and if propane blows up in there, these will heal back up again for like wave 27. So that's why we have those there. Alright. We're then going to go to our double crit rating, double crit damage, or not double crit rating, double crit damage, crit rating, crit damage, durability wall darts. And we're going to go boom, and boom, shooting across from each other. At this point, really only like a smasher is going to get here, and we're just going to nuke them down, so I don't really care for the staggered wall darts. We'll have staggered dynamos in here as well, just for that little staggered reload, but honestly, it's not as necessary. Alright. So we'll have boom, boom. So we'll come over to here, to this side of the tunnel. There'll be a wall dart shooting across. Wall dart shooting across. We'll have a wall dart right here shooting into this tile. A wall dart shooting down this way. A wall dart right here. And we'll have a wall dart right here. And it seems like we're using a lot of wall darts, and we are. We're also going to have a double, or a crit rating, double crit damage wall dart right here shooting. And right here. And those will be shooting through these windows. We're then going to take our ceiling zapper. This is just going to be a crit rating, double crit damage, crit damage ceiling zapper. And we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to take our retractable floor spikes. These are going to be the same rolls: damage, crit rating, crit damage, durability. We're gonna place it right here. The thought process on these and why I use this particular roll is if it goes off and it crits, it's gonna basically one-shot the things. And there's enough of them that we can almost guarantee that it's going to crit on the husks. So that's why there's that particular roll. If we want something to crit more often, we can use the double crit rating, double crit damage rolls. Alright. So then we're going to be using a reload speed wall dynamo. So let's go find our reload speed wall dynamo, the one that's really hard to find. It's going to be crit rating, crit damage, reload speed, durability, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So all on this left side, we're going to have the reload speed one, and all on this right side, we're going to have the heavy hitting one. So the damage, crit rating, crit damage, durability. Alright. And that should be the majority of our trapping in our tunnel. I know, a lot of trapping. I'm just gonna say it is a lot of trapping, and it'll pay off dividends, right? We're gonna have a smasher bridge at the back of this later on, but honestly, the smasher bridge isn't even needed, genuinely. For this side. For the other side, it's kind of important. All right, so we're gonna come to the back of the tunnel, and we're gonna waterfall down, and we're gonna place a floor right here. This is gonna be important for our smasher bridge, but we're gonna place a wall here, just so I get this correct. We're going to try to find my, there we go. So there, we're gonna place a wall here and a floor here. Now, why am I doing that? Right? You think maybe they could like just drop right here and it'd be fine? Well, we're gonna have a smasher bridge on our B amplifier, and if they charge from right here, it would actually break our amp design, and we don't want that. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna drop right here, they're gonna walk here, and then they're gonna charge off. Fixed all my issues with the smasher bridge on this particular amp because it's so up high. That's kind of lit. So the next thing we're gonna go over is block off. And there's going to be a lot of block off areas. Not like as much as you would think, but we're going to block off a good bit of areas so flingers can't walk freely, and I'll show you what they do in a little bit. So we're going to come all the way over here, right? We're going to block off all of this and this and this, but flingers also want to walk this way. So before I forget, we're going to put a wall here and a wall here, not the wall on top. And this is just going to disincentivize them from going over here, so they'll never go over here. We're then going to come right, try to get all the correct for you guys. We're gonna come right here, and we're just gonna place a wall, cone facing the west, and then we're gonna have a wall right here. And this is just so flingers don't walk down here, walk around here, walk straight through here, and so they don't come to right here and throw the amplifier, because they will do it. We're going to come to this block off right here. This block off, I used to overbuild like, well, because let's tell you a story, right? So back in the day, before I was really decent at the game, there used to be a thing, there wasn't like any really good concepts of like, okay, if I'm standing at a certain spot, Husk will go one way and not. So my AFK spot was over on Storm Shield, right? So as you can imagine, the Assassin Husks would walk over here. So I used to build the shit out of the block off over here so that the Assassin Husks would find a different method. So this used to be really overbuilt for that sole purpose. Okay? So we're going to shorten up the block off a little bit. So we're going to place a wall here, 1, 2, 3. And now, this is where I'm going to place these for you guys, because I know damn well you guys are going to walk over to your home base, but we're going to place our heals, builds, attached wall dynamos right here. So 1, 2, 3, right? Because if you're staying up at the AFK spot, they're all going to go through the tunnel. Simple enough. But if you go towards home base, like you're putting mats up or something, husks are going to come right here to these walls. So we're going to put those wall dynamos on there. And that's solely so you guys don't complain that, oh, they're beating on this block off. Well, no shit, you're over by home base. All right. So now we're going to go down one tile. We're going to place a wall, wall, wall. So 3 walls there. We're going to place a wall here, a cone facing the southwest, cone facing the northwest, surrounded in walls. And we're also going to place a wall here and here. Now, we're going to place a heals, builds, attached wall dynamo here as well. Why? Because husks, assassin husks, if you're far over towards home base, can also walk right here and they'll drop down here and beat on this. So that's just common sense to put it right there. And they will go to this spot. Alright. We're going to place a cone here facing the southwest. Cone facing the northwest. Surrounded in walls. And that's all the block off we need over on this right side. Like I said, I used to overbuild it. It used to be like block off like crazy all the way over to here type of deal. Nope, this is all you really need to get away with. Alright, now we have a left side block off, and I used to overbuild this as well. I think it was out to like here at one point, and it used to go all the way back over to here. We don't need that much anymore. So I actually got this inspiration from Alchemist Lion, my homie, shout out to him. He does a lot of videos with me and plays with me pretty much every day, so shout out to him. But this is inspired by his block off. But we're gonna have a cone right here. This is facing the southwest. A cone right here facing the southwest, surrounded in walls. And we're going to have a cone right here. So, in this little box right here. And this is going to be facing the southwest. We're going to hop behind this. And there's going to be a wall and a wall. So if we look at it, it's just going to be an extra little wall and wall right here. So we have this little section blocked off. Now there's going to be a little section over towards this. So we're going to have a wall here, and a cone facing. If you need guidance on where that is, it's just going to be right there. We also have to block off basically all the husks wanting to come this way to the left. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to come right here to this little outcropping, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Alright. We're going to have cone facing the south, cone facing the south, cone facing the southwest. We're going to surround all this. We're also going to have a wall right here. I don't think this wall is actually that important, but it's there. Okay? But yeah, that's the block off over here, so they don't walk this direction. This used to be basically all be covered in block off, and that was a bit overkill. I admit to that. So now we got to talk about a lot of this stuff over here, right? Because if you're a flinger, you can walk all the way around here, drop down here, walk over here, and throw out the amplifier. And they will do this if you guys don't take that into account. So I used to have like a flinger recycler, I think right in this area. But honestly, that was kind of a waste. So the way we do it now is flingers have no other path but to come from all the way over here. They walk all the way down here. Walk all the way down here, all the way down here, come over here, they walk all the way over here, come right here, and then they walk through the tunnel. So that's the pathway that we have the flingers going, and I'll show you guys the block off of that over here. Because I was just amazed that they would walk that far out of their way and just go through my tunnel. That's perfect. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3 walls. Alright, so if you guys need a little location, this is right where it is. Okay. We're also going to come right over here to this double ramp. And we're going to place, make sure that this is correct. Yeah, we're going to come over here to this double ramp. We're going to place a wall right here, not on top. And we're going to place a heels builds attached wall dynamo. The wall dynamo I don't even think is necessary. I just had it there in case they did beat on it. I don't think that's actually that necessary. Alright. We're then going to come right over to here. And this is just going to have a cone facing the northwest, 2 walls, and then it's going to have a wall dynamo with heels builds attached on each side. Right there. We also have another spot, and it's kind of far down, but it's also going to be right over here, I want to say. So where's the outcrop? Canny's confusing y'all. So it's right here, and we have 2 walls right there, and that should be all of the. I know this is a lot, so pause it if you guys need to, but really we chopped down a lot of this build. Right? And look at it. Just, it looks a little bit cleaner and a lot more efficient. So now we're going to do a smasher bridge, right? And the reason I have a smasher bridge here, as opposed to like really any other amp design, is because it's twofold. It has a mini boss TP loop. So we're going to make that smasher bridge. And basically, the reason I say mini boss TP loop, right? It's because wave 30 can hit on any amplifier except for bass. I don't think I've ever had it on bass. So you have to take into account mini bosses on every amp, or else you have a good chance of failing wave 30. So that's why we have smasher bridge pretty much on every amp. So we're gonna start right over here, and we're gonna have a cone facing the south up like this. We're gonna place a floor, and we're gonna place a floor. We're gonna place a ramp, and this is going to be edited like this into a half ramp on this south side. It's gonna go up. We're gonna have a floor, and then another floor, and then we're gonna have a whatchamacallit, an edited floor like this. This is just to make them so when they walk up this ramp, they're going to come on over here, they're going to walk up, they're going to turn towards the amplifier, and they're going to charge it. So this is the charging portion of the Smasher Bridge, and where they're going to charge back at the amplifier. We're then going to have a floor and a floor. But if you notice this connects to our amp design, right? And that's bad, right? Because if a Smasher walks right here, and he doesn't die somehow and breaks through this, he could walk over here and then walk along our bridge. So we're gonna end this. Boom. We're also gonna place a floor here and just take out this corner so he doesn't do the same thing. We're gonna place a floor and another floor to the east of it. All right, so that should be like the basis of our Smasher Bridge. And then we're gonna add our little walls around it. So we're gonna have 2 walls here. And this is what the Smashers are going to be targeting. So the Smasher AI says, basically, anything within, their first objective is like the amplifier, right? So they're going to charge at the amplifier. But then after they charge at that amplifier, they're going to look at walls within connections of the amplifier. So their goal is to hit these walls. But we're going to actually remake them see the amplifier right up here. So when we come on up here, they're going to re-see the amplifier and charge it. So that's the thought process behind a Smasher Bridge. All right. And we're gonna place a wall here, here, here. All right. And the reason we're adding all these walls, right, isn't because of Smashers, but it's actually because of the lobbers, because they'll go crazy on your tunnels if you don't have a certain amount of walls around your amplifier and coverage around your amplifier. So we could add half arches all around this, right, if we recycled the Smashers ourselves on the bridge. But since they charge, we add these little half arches like this at their charge spot so that they don't clip it and break. So if we had a full arch here, they might be able to clip this. You don't want that. That's bad. So we're going to then take our little low walls like this, and we're going to jump up here, and we're going to place 1, 2, oh my gosh, place this. And we're going to place a floor here. And this is going to be a TP spot for our mini bosses. You don't necessarily need this, but this is just to prevent the mini bosses from TPing into unwanted places. So sometimes they'll TP up to here instead of like for random, say a mini boss TP'd down here. That's what this little TP spot is for. But that is the Smasher Bridge. Not too complex, and I'll go over a video over it someday. Quote me on it, keep me accountable. But we're also going to add a support for this in case something wonky happens so that the bridge still stays up for lobbers' sake. Alright, so that's the build, right? And we'll take you guys through it again just to make sure you guys got it. So we're just going to take them through a booty ton of damage. Let me make sure I got this. Alright, so we're going to add actually a couple more. It's dumb. But we're going to add wall, cone, oh my gosh, cone facing the northwest. This would have been annoying if I would have released this video and not added this block off, so that's sick. We would add a cone right here, where all this like sound wall and wall darts are. We're gonna add a cone right here, and that should be like the block off. Right. We're also gonna add, I think, a wall right here. So let's chop that off. And a wall right here. You guys can see that my butt sucks at playing on controller regularly. But that should be like that block off for this right side. And we're also gonna do something. This is gonna look stupid for a lot of people. But if a propane goes off on here, we have no healing on the ceiling gas trap. So what we're gonna actually do, we're gonna add a floor trap. Doesn't have to be a floor freeze trap, but any floor trap with heals builds attached. We're gonna place 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna place 1, 2, 3. I'm not saying this is completely necessary, but I'm saying put it on there. This will heal back up the ceiling gas trap, so basically every wall has healing. This floor doesn't, this floor does, and every wall has healing, just in case those propanes go off. Because believe me, like, if I could 100% make sure that the propanes go off, I would. But sometimes you just can't 100% do that. So that's basically how I have it. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, leave a like on the video, and consider subscribing to my channel. We'll have gameplay after this, and it'll be of just basically, I think, a wave 27 or a wave 30. It'll be simple. Tunnel holds up stupid well. I think, like, realistically, the only place that smashers will get to is probably this tile or this tile. They don't even get to this point. But we did take into account for the smasher bridge. So I do hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get on to the gameplay.